leader is Rohan Amritaya, and I have been working with him almost 15 years. Joined this company as a sales representative. As a leader, he taught me everything from beginning to throughout the 15 years. He's the best leader I have ever worked with, and I'm very happy to work with him.
He's a great leader. Why I am saying that is, in my experience when I joined Worth Lanka in 2005 as a training sales rep, he has trained us and guided us. He has molded us and he has guided us into this position with his effect, knowledge and training.
Hello everyone, I am Amila Dilshan from PIM MBA batch 2020 from the group F5. As a part of our learning curriculum, we are supposed to interview one of the business leaders in Sri Lanka, for which we have selected Mr. Rohan Amritaya, the Managing Director of Worth Sri Lanka. We have come to the office premises. Let's go in and see what he has to tell about his leadership competencies. First place, we express our heartfelt gratitude to you for allocating time for us to have this interview today. So there's one famous quote from you: "Our priority is people and performance, profit follows naturally." That's not a common quote to hear from such a big MD or a business leader like you, because everyone is top line oriented or the bottom line oriented. Everyone follows profit, but this is different. What's the reason for it? Simple.
Well, to correct you first, it's not an original quote from me. I kind of coined it. I grabbed some words from my guru, Professor Worth, and he always says every business in the world is people's business. And when I started this company, I also realized it quite early that people is the core of any business. And then if you do not make these people work the right way, meaning get the maximum out of them in performance terms, end of the day you will not make any profits. So focusing on people and their performance generates profits for any organization, and that's quite normal.
I think you took a wonderful start to our conversation. So everyone wants to become a leader, and we can also say that some of us want to be a leader. As per your belief, in your opinion, what do you think about it? What are the core competencies that a person should have in order to become a leader?
First of all, there are leadership or leaders that are born. I mean, they have this natural quality of leadership. And if you look at me, I was not a born leader, but circumstances and situations move you towards that. So when I started my career, I never thought I will become a business leader ever. But as situations changes and you fall into a particular line, you start taking the leadership automatically. And then you gain experience in how to lead. So in my case, it was purely a journey of leadership. It's not that you became a leader overnight. So I would say that there are two types. Some people are born into leadership and they follow that. The others are gradually becoming leaders through their work.
Our research shows that he heads Sri Lanka's largest direct sales force. Am I correct, sir?
The largest direct sales in the automobile aftermarket
industry, to be precise.
Yes.
So first, how do you feel about this as a person? since direct sales is not the go-to career for any individual, especially in an era where young talented professionals are leaving abroad to greener pastures.
That's a very valid current topic actually. So last 20 years, so when you start this business, you are doing the job first yourself, and then you learn about direct sales. Therefore, you are able to lead the young people along with you and show how it is done. So that's why I said earlier also, leadership is like you start doing something and people just follow you. So leadership in that sense. Direct sales is kind of unique in Sri Lanka. There are some people call it direct marketing, some people call it direct sales. For us, marketing is totally different, sales is different. Sales is a one-to-one engagement between a customer and the salesperson and showing value to customer. When you carry a brand like Worth, a high top quality brand, you have to be engaged with customer directly one-to-one. You cannot sell it with a lot of advertising. You have to show the quality of it. So you lead by example. You start doing it yourself, and when you believe that a product can be sold on quality and brand, people follow you. So in my organization or the Worth organization, this is exactly what has happened until today, and it would follow, I think, for the next 10-15 years, in my opinion.
You believe in the quality of the product?
Yes.
Sir, as you also said earlier, it's not an easy task to manage such a big workforce as the leader of the company. What are the key challenges that you faced, or maybe you're facing right now as a business leader in this dynamic business environment?
We need to talk about the local context. We are in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Sri Lanka is the culturally, we are all mollycoddled by our parents. So even today, at my age, my mother and father will call me for breakfast and ask, have you eaten? This is very different to a European setup. By 18, 19, you are kicked out of the home and you learn to survive on your own. So unfortunately, this is bad for our young people. So they do not take challenges, they do not take risks to go out and venture and learn things and do things on their own. That's why you find very handful of entrepreneurs, business leaders in Sri Lanka who are successful. The rest are all just employees and they just want to do a job. In this context, when we started our Worth company, it's a direct sales organization, as you already know. You need people who want to go out and sell. And this was not a interesting job for many young people even today. 20 years ago, I was able to find a lot of school leavers who have no qualifications but would like to try selling because they have no choice. Today, most of the young ones have an access to a phone and they are wasting their time on internet and whatever. The ones who are studying, then they're looking for top jobs, a bit more glamour jobs.
White collar jobs.
Yes, they don't want to do hard work. So the challenge is how to convince our youth to take up sales and do a professional sales job, because selling pays a lot more than sitting behind a desk, and our salesman will vouch for it.
Yeah, just out of the script, if I'm not mistaken, there are around 78,000 employees in the world under the umbrella of Worth. What about the strength in Sri Lanka?
So we have 120 employees. Out of that, 75 of them are salesmen.
Exactly. So leading more than 120 employees is not an easy task at all. Maybe there were circumstances where that you had to make certain unpopular decisions, because after having a casual chat with your employees at this organization, we figured out that he's loved by many. But sir, there could be circumstances where you had to make unpopular decisions as the leader of the organization. How did you manage to handle such circumstances?
We do it as a lesson for some other people, because we have to say we are very serious about our business. If you want to be number one in your business, you have to be that precision in everything that we do. It's not perfect, but by attempting to do that, we have reached some level.
It's not perfect, but he's attempted to do that. That's really a nice quote, and so it's nice to know that it's a junior interviewing his senior because he's one of our seniors at PIM as well. Well, you are one of the leading giants in the domain of industry. So we would like to know the core strategies that you adhere to as a business organization to be one of the leading players in the market.
So again, when you say I'm a business leader, yes, I led this company for the last 20 years, but I can't take all the credits. First of all, I work for a brand called Birth, and 20 years ago the company was different even globally. So there was a lot of support from the head office and the structures and various things. The challenge was, how do I implement that in Sri Lanka, this company always believes in a local talent, and that's the reason they hired a local person. Then building a team is important. So any leader, I think, in this interview context, leadership, is that you must have a team. Nobody plays a cricket game alone. So you need to have 11 players. There's a captain, but everyone has to contribute. So building that team was important. So starting by one employee, then the second employee, third employee, you coach them what we are doing. And today, I'm so happy that we have a leadership team, and we call it the core management team. So success comes with your team doing your expectations and your vision. So creating a vision for them and giving them guidelines and making sure that they are doing that. So regular follow-ups, going into details. You have to, even though you are, after 20 years, you can be your CEO, but still you need to check on details. So otherwise, the leadership is just superficial. You have to get your fingers dirty most of the times. Until I retire, I think that will happen. But building the team after you go is the most important thing that a leader can leave behind. If they go and if the company is no more, it's not leadership. So this I believe so.
Well, he's quite talented in that case because he's handling a company which has roots in Germany. By being a Sri Lankan, an Asian, he's handling an Asian workforce. That's where the diversity of workforce comes. And most importantly, where his leadership skills are showcased. So, if I'm not mistaken, there are 78,000 plus employees around the world in 85 countries and more than 400 subsidiaries.
Correct.
What's the specialty in Sri Lanka business?
So quite early, I was lucky enough to get experienced with this German company in Germany, and you see a whole new world. And then you come back here and you realize, oh my God, how are we going to run a German company in Sri Lanka? There are quite a few German companies here, and they all follow the same German system. So what I realized is, I tell our employees, look, when you have competitors, when you have other businesses, if we can do half of what Germany is trying to do, we'll be already number 1 or 2. You see, so we try to do things on time, we try to do things on a quality way, our processes. By attempting that, we are already 2-3 steps ahead. But if you take everything like, okay, today it's raining, so therefore I'm not going to go to work, or if you take that, then we are in the same level as all our other competitors or other businesses. No difference. So what we did was we created a differentiation in front of our customers. Our vision also says that be the best in front of the customer. We all learn in our management and marketing that customer is the king and that you have to do whatever that the customer wants. In our mission, we want to say to the customer, look, I am special, I am the best, and I want to show the difference. He has to see the difference in every aspect of our processes. Our product has to show a difference between the other products. Timing, if I tell 8 o'clock I'm coming, I want to be there at 8. And customer is used to seeing the guy only at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock. So already he's saying, this guy is different. So we created a difference in front of our customers. They are small customers, large customers, we always try to show a difference. And that's how we managed this brand number 1 in our area.
By building a differential.
Yes.
And also maintaining the quality. Well, we read about him and we got to know about him from his employees. Well, we know that you are not a cubicle person. you're an outgoing personality. More than me telling that, I think so you can elaborate on that. And my question is, such circumstances, I know you have to suicide awareness, but I'm not going to tell that because he'll give a broader picture with his examples. Do those experiences help you to maintain such a diversified set of families?
So I earlier told you that everything was situational. So I was away from Sri Lanka for about almost 9 to 10 years. So I had no local network. You know, Sri Lanka is a small country and everything works with a lot of networking. When I came back in 1991, I had no school connections, no network, no friends, nobody. So I realized when I was working, I worked for IBM at that time, and then I realized I need to build a network. So one was, of course, I joined the MBA. I realized I also need some background in terms of management education. So when PIM opened, I joined there. I started already about a 60-70 colleagues I could network with. Then I joined Rotary movement where a larger network was there. So I built network within that, and I was able to kind of get myself in there. And with this came my activities in social responsible work, like helping out the underprivileged. And I would say when I joined Worth, I realized I had to be more field person because I was doing sales. And to be this, you have to go out, socialize, and also be active. And about 10 years ago, I started cycling, which is nothing new to me. I also went to school and college in my bicycle, but realized that cycling is a good sport. So cycling is kind of now part of me. I own 3 bicycles, different types, one mountain terrain bike, one roadie bike. So now for the last 5 years, I have been riding around Sri Lanka, almost 1,400 kilometers in a stretch of 13 days. And this is done for a particular cause, this suicide prevention line, 1333. So we ride always 1,333 kilometers, and we talk to a lot of people in these 13 cities that we go. So it's an awareness, but I don't just do it for that. I would like to explain here, it's like a 5-in-1 for me. So first is you get your fitness by doing cycling. So you ride 13 days, you are fit. Then your social responsibility aspect, because you are doing it for a cause. That's number 2. Number 3 is that you build network, and you again meet people, and that's another good way of networking. Number 4 is that 13 days is my vacation. So these 13 days I look around Sri Lanka on a bicycle. Normally we go on vacation, take a car, go into a hotel, get into a room, and then that's your vacation. But here it's a unique way of spending your vacation. So I have always booked my vacation from 29th of August to 13th of September every year. And that's a vacation because you get to see 13 different cities through the roads of Sri Lanka. Very beautiful country. So on a bicycle, nothing like it. That's my 4th. 5th one is I also try and engage the company, the brand. I sponsor this particular activity, and in these 13 cities we try to engage our customers to come forward and do a bit of social service. So it's a bit of brand building as well as customer engagement. So that's my 5-in-1 in cycling. What it gives me is to be having an active mind, see the world, and the lot of learnings you can bring in. And I think the most important point is when you want to set a goal and reach, when you're doing such activities, and that comes also into your business. You want to reach a particular sales target or a gross profit target or acquire a particular customer, you set that target and you try to push there. So it's just like that. I mean, in the morning when you wake up at 4:30 and get your bike, you don't want to do it because you are lazy and you are tired, but you somehow push yourself to do it. The same thing happens in a difficult situation in the business environment, because we've been back to back for the last 3 years. I think the country's economy is getting hit through political issues, Easter attacks, and then COVID. All of this, we take it as a hurdle, but then we try to overcome that. through actions and activities. This activities that I do outside the cubicle helps me there. And I try to also push our people into that with a lot of resistance, but we kind of force it. And I could just quote, if it is relevant to your talk, is during the first lockdown, we were locked down for about almost 1.5 months, no going out. But all our employees were active for 8 to 10 hours from their home. First day the question was, there's no customers open, what do we do? I said, it doesn't matter, 8 hours, customers are still alive. You have a phone, 1 hour you have to call 10 customers. And they have to record it. Otherwise they'll say, okay, I did 10 calls. So we have to record it. We said 1 hour you have to do physical activity. They said, why? I said, no, this 8 hours belongs to work. We are going to pay you your salary even though you are at home. So you have to do this for me. And after 1 month, we had many programs like reading, writing, various activities. After 1 month, we asked them, and then they all appreciated it because there's something happening in the house, not that they're sleeping on a couch and watching TV and wasting their time. I don't know what percentage, but even if 2 people did it, I will be happy out of 100.
So we kept the best for the last. And in this interview, we will not let you say it. Instead, I take the privilege of opening this up. Once you were a salesman, an accountant, and also a warehouse worker, and the delivery man. When you were headhunted to build World Lanka in 1998 as the first employee. So if you remember the journey, and also if you share some key learnings that you took from this journey from 1998 to present.
So I left a Fortune 500 company where I was working, that's 3M Lanka. When I left, people were actually thinking, is this guy crazy to leave a Fortune 500 company? But the job offer was very attractive, but it's an unknown company, so you plunge into an unknown entity. It's a big risk, a big challenge. So my first learning was that you can make mistakes, for sure. Early days, I also realized that German companies' culture is like that. They look for a local person to start the business. So when I was a salesman, I had to go to visit customers and first learn from the customers. So I learned about our products, the applications, the technical side of it from our customers. Selling was natural to me, so I was able to talk to customers and learn from one customer and then go out to another customer and explain how this works as if I know about this product well. So my first couple of years was pure learning. When I hired my first employee, I realized how to manage somebody, a person, timing to what he should do to. So it was compartmentalized this first 5 years. It was not something that I learned management within that first year. You learn, and then when I was doing accounts, I had to open. Those days it was Lotus 1, 2, 3, if I remember. Excel was not that popular. So I used to create invoices using that application, print it, pack the goods into a box. So by doing all of these things, I learned how it is done. So today, nobody could come and say why it cannot be done. So the journey is exactly, that's the most important thing, and I am very fortunate that I got that opportunity. It is not that many of the today's leaders get that opportunity, because either you finish an MBA and then you join as a head of marketing and then you qualify to become a CEO or a managing director. Not many employed CEOs get the chance of doing it from ground level.
But you had the opportunity.
Yes. Whereas local entrepreneurs, when they built a business, they would have started from zero, and that's how they built their business. In this, I was an employee, but I was given a capital, a small capital to start the business. So I was, in a sense, entrepreneur, but with a, let's say, a safety net of the group behind.
Well, as all great things come to end, we are also going towards the end of our fruitful discussion, I would say. So we are young executives, and this is watched by so many young executives, maybe around the world. What is the advice that you have to give to the young budding entrepreneurs or the business leaders of today's society?
There are so many things that I have learned during these 20 years. For example, profit without growth is fatal. This is a famous saying from Professor Worth. We always do things for profit, whether it's monetary terms or some other way. Profitability is important. So when you do things, always think about the outcome. It has to be a positive effect. Positive effect is the profit, which we mean. Could be money, time, whatever. Second thing is, also what I learned is, when you look at people, because our business and everybody's business is on people, look for people only with attitude. I think this is, of course, we talk about qualifications, experiences, a background. Attitude would be top in our mind. If you don't have a positive and a right attitude, then it doesn't matter what this guy has or a girl has in their background as degrees and all that. I interview people every day, every year, and I see a lot of qualified people, but the attitude is totally wrong for our organization or for any organization. So the right attitude with employees and managing these people to perform is a management task. It's an HR topic. It has to be done by the organization, because you have the right attitude person with the right qualification and all of that, but if you do not make them perform, then the organization has no use for them. So I would focus on those things.
Yeah. Once again, we express our heartfelt gratitude to you, sir. We had managing director of Worth, Mr. Rohan, with us. Thank you very much. We had to maintain 1 meter distance, and we cannot shake our hands anymore with COVID-19 precautions. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll meet with the interviews.